Yo. So yeah, we're back on this. It has been a bit of a pain in the ass, to be honest, waiting on bits. So I've just gone ahead as far as I can off camera, just to try and get some things done. All the pistons are in, it's all sealed up. I did have the sump on it, but we've decided we'll weld a baffle into it, seeing it's going into a race car. Yeah, it's been a bit of a pain. I found putting in one of the pistons, one of the gudgeon pin grooves for the clip had been machined too far in, so I ended up having to remachine that to be able to make the gudgeon pin fit properly. Yeah, bit of a rigmarole, and then trying to put the head together, trying to source stem seals that fit properly was actually a bit of a pain. The skunk to seat bases, the centre hole for the guide is too small to fit the stem seal down, so it meant I had to machine out the centre of the hardened spring seat, so that was a big pain. That was a day's worth of mucking around and trying to sort stuff out, measuring spring pressures and installed heights, measuring the compression ratio, which we've come out to 11.6 to 1, which is ideal. We're on E85. Cams aren't that big, but should be able to run them pretty well. So tonight we're just going to bolt the head on, probably go over a couple of things, and I'll try to add into little bits that I found and other little tricks and shit that I've run into with all this Skunk 2 stuff and other bits. As you can see, I had to steal the best drip rag from the Mini because it leaks like a mofo. Anyway, so all new hardware in the front of it. Pipes on, oil filter, rear main housing, no biggie. So what I did for measuring piston to valve clearance is I just had all the pistons in, and then I put one valve inlet and exhaust, and then put Play-Doh in here. Got my partner to make me some Play-Doh. Perks of dating a ex-teacher. That's our piston to valve clearance, which is like, I mean, it's gone old and crusty, but it's no biggie. But yeah, obviously got oodles of clearance, so happy as with that. So now that all that's done, we can put the head on. Did a compression ratio check on it, so 11.6 to 1, which is hunky dory. Plates on, balance shaft deletes all in. So yeah, well, sorry, my shed's a bit of a mess at the moment, but this is the head with new springs, valves, caps and everything into it. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, the spring seats, which you won't be able to see, the internal diameter was like 12.6 mil, and then the external of a valve stem seal was 13.4, so it was never going to fit in, and the valve guides sit so low that when putting them in, put one in and it hit the spring seat, so that was no good. So I went through and machined all of them out, tidied them up, put all the stem seals on, and then slid them on over top, because it was just too much of a pain to hold them central and then try to slide the valve stem seal in over top. So the head's all together, we can bolt it on, and I have been waiting for some ARP head stud and nuts because I never actually got any. So general rule of thumb with these is I always chuck a bit of ARP molly lube on them, like you saw me do with main bolts. Always check to make sure that your threads clean and they're going in nicely. Yeah, they don't need to be cranked up tight, torqued up, nothing. They just need to be in and nip them up. Most people I've heard from said just finger tight sort of thing, but I don't actually agree with that. I would prefer these to be nipped up a little bit. They've got a shank on the bottom of them, which sits at the top of the thread, so it tightens up against that. Yeah, so a little bit more to tighten it up to the shank. Always check your head gaskets clean before putting it on. They clearly have it up written into them, so don't muck that up. You can't really, but I have seen it before, definitely. I've had a phone call before from a mate saying that all of a sudden he's done a head gasket and it's spraying oil across the firewall, just due to having this upside down. Well, I know it is in the B series. It's pretty easy to make it look like it's upside down, like, you know, think that it would go the right way, but alas, no bueno. You want it flat around the right way and try to get it over the dip. So that's happy days. So same sort of rule with the head. Always got to be clean, so I've already wiped this down, brake clean in a rag, let it dry and sit, and then I just give it a wipe down with my hand, because all the oil on your skin will pick up any other dust, contaminants or anything like that. So that is ready to put on, and because it's a lot easier to do it now, just wipe some more molly lube up around those threads. Make sure not to drop any into the head gasket. Go through and do that. Right, so now that you've got all of that lubed up, you want to try line up 2 dowels, slide it on, and then getting it onto the dowels with head studs can be a bit of a pain at times, so you just want to give it a bit of a wiggle, maybe even just lift it. And try getting them on straight. And a little tap with your hands. So I'm obviously not going to damage anything, you can't hit anything hard enough. And then just like that we have the head on. So I've gone through and put most of the washers in, they're a real pain. So you want to try just stick one on the end of your pinky and get it to flicker onto the stud, like such. Try to push it off your pinky with your other finger. Get those all in there. And then, because most of the time they get caught up on the threads, just grab the long socket, just push them down. Make sure that they're seated. Obviously, once again, ARP lid on the surface of the head for the bottom of the washer. Then same again for the top side of the washers, even if it's just a dab of this. Get a little down in there. So yeah, one other thing I didn't actually quite like about the Skunk 2 valve train package, it's alright for, you know, I guess you want to chuck it in your car and it rev a bit harder, blah blah blah. Don't like that they're actually B-series springs, so technically they're shorter, hence why you have to have such a big spring seat base for them that come with the package to be able to pump the installed height and installed height pressure up to 93 pounds. Yeah, not a fan of that. It just kind of feels clunky, I guess. Supertech and Calford, all that, those sort of brands have valve springs and shims and everything set up just for these motors. So, in my personal opinion, I would rather have put Supertech in everything, but Skunk 2 is what we've got, so Skunk 2 is what we're using. So, our PCs don't, only put the studs in, hand tight only. Like I said earlier, I feel weird putting things in hand tight in a motor, so I do just wind them up with a T-bar. Don't load them up or anything like that, don't really crank them on, just till it touches and then just a tiny amount, hey, like it's really nothing, so you can call me out on that, but that's just the way I do it and I've never had an issue. So these head bolt head nuts go up to 90 foot-pound, 3 stages of that, so we'll just start at 30 foot-pound and then we'll go 60, then 90. And 90 is actually pretty damn tight, so definitely don't have to worry about the head falling off. Step 1. So we have the new, not the new, but Skunk 2 lost motion assembly. So that takes it away from hydraulic, which H22s are. It's the best thing you can do for any H series, even if you're just doing simple rings and bearings. Honestly, hydraulic lost motion assembly is just a pain. You can kill so much time finding like a tapping, knocking noise in your car for no reason other than the fact that, say, a bit of gunk or something's come out your engine somewhere, they get caught in the lifter, and then it either pumps up real hard or then it loses all pressure and it can't have any sponge to it. So then you've got the centre rocker and the VTEC lobe just slapping on and off like that, and then it echoes through the whole motor, and it's actually quite easy to do. And I'm talking from experience that I have had that, and I've killed ages after rebuilding a motor going, what the heck have I done? And it turns out that it was just one of these, which is a pain because you got to pull the rockers out and cams out, and when it's in the car it's such a pain. So yeah, if you have your motor apart for any reason and you see you have hydraulic lifters, they are lifters at the end of the day, throw them in the bin and just buy some spring types, because it'll save you a lot of hassle and searching later on. Right, so now you can put your rockers in. So give all of that a good lubing. Push your shaft through, get all that oil all over it. Loves it. It's good for it. A bit more across there. Now, these can be a bit of a pain to put in, also pretty easy. Just gotta hold your tongue in the right spot, I guess. So just try to hold them tightly so the spring doesn't pop out, and the little piston mechanisms don't pop out, and then just hold them in there. And I've done exactly what I said not to do. Let's let it drop, because I'm a trooper. One in, two in, and then you can just lift that back one and get it in. So there you have your rockers in. So that'll sit up like that, and that'll just bounce away on your lobe. So you can see there that it works quite well on the spring rather than hydraulic, and then the hydraulic ones, when they fail, just start bottoming out and yeah, do make a fair bit of noise. So also, I should have mentioned before putting the first one in, but it's a good idea because most people cable tie these up, how they sit, but good idea is just pull this pin out and make sure it slides freely and it's nice and easy to get in and out. Have any burrs or anything like that on these, it can stop VTEC engaging properly. Same again with this one, they're a pain to get out unless you have a magnet. Well, most people have a magnet, but otherwise just tap them on the bench a fair bit and they eventually pop out. But a WD-40 ETC. So yeah, you always want to make sure that those are nice and free, and that the spring in there works good. And this is all freely moving in there, which it is. So just go through and check them. No doubt if it's come from your running car, I'm sure they'll be sweet, but it's always a good thing just to double check. So also forgot to mention again, when doing the cam timing properly on one of these, you need to lock the VTEC lobe. So by doing that, you've got this piston here, which I mentioned earlier, a bit of a pain to get out. And all I did was, because I didn't have any small enough washers, just cut the end of my socket off. So I set the pin out, push the spring in, and push that pin across, so it locked the centre lobe on. That's why I do it. I think that's the only way you can really do it, is just by spacing that out. Yeah. So that's all the rockers in and set up. All the tappets wound off. Head's torqued on. The rails are lined up, so in here go little oil orifices which slot into the rails, so it locks the rails and controls the oil, which I shall put in the next episode or next part or whatever. So that's us for tonight. It's like 10 o'clock. I'm over it, been at work all day, building engines, and come home and build some more. So, next part will be bolting the cams in, cam timing it. Cam timing is already set from when I have checked the piston and valve clearance, but we will double, triple, quadruple check the timing. It's pretty important. You do not want to muck that up. Yeah, let me know if there's anything you want to see or have any questions about. I am not an expert as such. I haven't been doing it 50 years. Started when I was 16, I'm 25 now. Still got heaps to learn on everything. So yeah, any constructive criticism is welcome, and any criticism, suck it. Yeah, so that's us tonight. Next time we'll do some more shit. Hooroo.